Bandai just really saved Gundam. I'm Rusty CG, and today we're going to talk about the new ban and pair ban list that Bandai officially released for Gundam TCG. And I'm very, very happy about it because like I mentioned on my video a couple of months ago, I was talking about the potential of ban or pair ban list, and that's truly actually happened. So if you guys have already seen the news and don't want to hear me yapping about the news, you guys can just skip to the video to the next point. They're going to talk about what Gundam going to happen and what the meta going to be after this pair ban list happening on July 24th. So now, for you who was not aware of the ban list, here we're going to dive into it quickly. So right here, this is the announcement that Bandai have made that will be effective on July 25th. Not 24th. I'm not sure. Like, it's written 25th here, it's written 24th here. So the first card that I was not expected to get banned would be Angsha, because it's a very, very good card. Higher stats, better stat than a gun tank. And they just released another second gun tank. So most likely they're not gonna ban gun tank, but they ended up banning Angsha, which is giving us a higher value with more HP, more AP, and it cannot be Fatal Strike. It dodged a lot of stuff, and it's a good value unit that can allow a Blue Perp to trade into weenies and still survive, and maybe potentially getting pinged by one and it dies, but it's still a better value than a weenies and a gun tank. So finally, Blue Perp getting nerfed, and I'm very, very happy because the game was starting to be very toxic for the past, like, I think 2 months. I went to multiple originals, and I just feel like Blue Perp was a high roll deck. It's one of the best decks. It's an S tier deck in the format, but I feel that removed the skills of the game of how Blue Perp is dominating, because it's just so good, so consistent. But right now that I feel that I'll be a lot back into Gundam, because there was not much content to make about Gundam, while the top tier deck or 50% Blue Perp, and there's not any other like viable deck that can contest it other than playing a mirror of Blue Perp. Not much else to say, but this is the best thing, because if you guys were watching my previous video, you guys know that I mentioned about the pair ban, and they call it ban paired. So when you play a card A cannot be played with card B in the same deck, so, or the same colors or something like that, but they did it similar to what I mentioned previously on my other Meta Monday, or the ban list that I mentioned in the previous one, that Corsica cannot be played in the aggro deck, and they didn't do the pair ban. So technically right now, I made a right call, but just like a few months later. So Amuro cannot be played with Mika, and you cannot play 8 gun tanks. So I was about to play 8 gun tanks, but I guess it's not gonna happen. So you cannot play 8 gun tanks. I think it's a very, very good thing, very good choice. And it's very similar to One Piece. One Piece, they've been doing a lot of pair ban that doesn't allow you to play X card with Y card. So now they're applying the same type of theory. So I think a lot of stuff's gonna happen in One Piece, gonna happen in Gundam. And because they're just like testing Digimon, they're testing One Piece, and after that they just kind of evolved with the whole ecosystem of different card game with different IP. So for sure they're gonna apply what they learn in different games into Gundam. So it's a very good thing. And over here they introduced to no more weenie aggro. I think that's very good, because this deck is just like brain dead. You just play weenie, weenie, weenie. You play 1 weenie turn 1, 2 weenie turn 2, 3 weenie turn 3, and you just go for aggro. And they have way too many weenies in the games right now. As you can see over here, they have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, they have 20 weenies. So what if you just play a deck full of 20 weenies and you just go for shield, 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 shield. And by turn 4, if your opponent cannot stop it, doesn't play any blockers, you won the game. So I just feel that it's just very stupid. Sorry for the word, but that's what I feel about the deck. The deck just lose to blockers or lose to any board control deck. But if you don't have any board control or just don't draw the removal, you're just gonna die to weenie aggro. And same thing to like similar to the Orlando specials and the hyper aggro that LeBron was making from Wii U Seoul International League. He's the one who created the hyper aggro purple red, and it's just very bad for the meta, but it wins games. So I think that banning, limiting the basic level 2 weenies, I just feel a lot of people are gonna cheat and they're gonna play like 2-1 weenies, they're gonna play 2-2 weenies, they're gonna play like 1 Year War, the Zaku, the 1-2, pump 2 into a 3-2 while attacking. So that's what I feel that people are gonna bring back 1 Year War. So 1 Year War are gonna be like back in the meta. So I'm gonna speak more, I'm gonna talk more, I'm gonna cover more about the meta after this ban list potentially. So maybe I'm not gonna make a Meta Monday on Monday. So this is gonna replace the Meta Monday, but we're gonna see about it. And over here, we have more explanation about the weenie. So technically, you can just allow to play 1 set of weenie, and you cannot combine 2 set of weenie, 2-2. You can only play 4 max per weenie in 1 deck. So yeah, so that's mostly all. And now we're gonna dive into the meta. What I believe that's gonna be very good. I think Blue Perp will stay as an A tier. It's not gonna be as a S tier, but I think 1 Year War. Earlier I said that the 1 Year War was B tier. So now that you're gonna bump 1 Year War to A tier right here, and I think that currently the S tier will be Wing, Purple White, and I believe Vultures. So I think that will be our current meta, and it's gonna be a rock paper scissors meta. I just feel that it's gonna be insane, and since Control is in the field right now, my blue-white seed will finally have a chance because you have good consistency, you have all the units, but it's not like a full orb deck. It's gonna be my favorite blue-white. I'm a very fan of blue-white decks, and Kira, Strike Freedom, it's my favorite card. But so far, if aggro it's less dominant, we're still gonna have decks that has blockers, but mainly having more like a mid-range. So I will play that deck as a mid-range control deck. So if you guys watch my previous GTO 5 Meta Monday on last Monday, you will see that I mentioned about the red-white Shining Gundam, Maxter Gundam, the purple-white Seed Destiny, and Wing gonna dominate the format if there's less aggro, because we can remove some blockers and switch it into more like a mid-range deck. But that's only if 1 Year War is not in the meta. So if 1 Year War is in the meta, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like shift this into a B tier, and I'm gonna bring this to a tier S. And I hope that it's going to be a bit more like a rock, paper, scissors meta. And when it's a rock, paper, scissors meta, it's more skill based and less of a high roll meta. So I just feel that Vulture gonna be a hard counter to 1 Year War, and it's gonna bring so much value to the meta, because Vulture was good because 1 Year War was on the meta. That's what. So the first play from Virginia, his name is Jacob. He's the one who gave me the deck list, and he confirmed that he allows me to publish the deck online, which is the purple-white Vulture. That's a very insane deck, but very, very hard to pilot. And I think this is the hardest deck that I ever piloted, because you need to understand the meta, you need to know what you're doing in order to make that deck work. So I'm gonna publish that deck, and I'm gonna mention it multiple times that that deck is only good if you're a good pilot, because it's not like an autopilot deck. You need to understand what card you're playing, what the deck is built, and how it's built, and potentially gonna make a video talking about that deck very shortly. So Over here, yeah, so this is the meta, and the crazy thing is I'm gonna say that if aggro is not in the meta, clan gonna bump to a tier A. So I think they'll be having a lot of different decks that are gonna be good in the current meta, and you guys gonna be very, very happy because clan will be playable. So I made a clan deck back in GDO 2. I feel that we're gonna upgrade that clan deck and try to see what we can do about that deck. But clan will be very, very dangerous because clan it's so consistent. The deck allows you to keep searching for stuff, going getting your pilot, getting your units, and after that you can ping the board, and clan is just dangerous. So that's what I'm expecting for the current meta. This is what I feel that if Blue Perp is not a tier S deck anymore, this is gonna be the meta. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just a quick update that I don't usually post video on Friday, but since now I need to balance my agenda and when I'm gonna put Gundam, when I'm gonna put Riftbound. So you guys drop in the comment below on what you think about this ban list, and please subscribe to this channel and like this video and let me know what you think in the comment. So on to the next one.